All right then, that was another one of those matches where the last guy gets to live a little bit longer than really anticipated. Was that another set of rushing Drake or Drakes?
Yeah, Ham Tengus.
Ham Tengus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, which is cool. They're obviously a little more fun than the normal Tengus. I really like Outbreak setup.
Yeah, obviously if you have that, they were used there in place of the Slipners in the traditional ECM team. If you have those Tengus there, you can just run in, because everyone's essentially jammed out, and just do as much deeps as you can.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not usually the role we see the Tengus in.
No. Well, I mean, no, you're right. We usually see them running away from stuff, and in this case, they're running towards it. But it's the Tengu. I mean, I think the reason I heard Ravy talking a lot about how in pre-quals the reason the Tengu is so popular is it just gets like the highest DPS to tank kind of ratio in the tournament, or at least competes for that. You know, it has really high damage output for the points and really high tank for the points, and so that's true whether it's charging at guys or running away from them. Yeah, and also they one of the things that's good about the Slipnir is that it's probably the better choice for hitting small things, but the small things don't particularly matter when you bring that much ECM. However, if you started missing jams, and like say the other team had carries or opposing kitsunes, then the small ships could, in the small time it takes to miss jam, could lock up the other team and start putting down that ECM, and it could really turn the match around. So it's an interesting choice to make, to go for the Tengu over the Slipnir, but I think it worked this match. So,
what was White Noise trying to do? It looked like a bit of an anti-rush team.
It was actually interesting. I missed the very start of the match, but they brought bombers, which we were just talking about, and they had 2 Hugins. Is that right?
Yes, they did. Yes.
Yeah. And a couple Drakes. So it is, I don't know if anti-rush, I mean, they have the Hugins to stop the rush,
yeah,
but it's kind of like a kite team, right? I mean, they want to stay away from stuff and do a lot of damage. But bombers are an interesting choice instead of traditional missile setup. I mean, they're better like against battleships, I guess, or against they're not good against like Slipners. So they must not have expected a rush team. I don't know what they would have wanted to come up against, because like we said, the bombers are vulnerable, and it showed.
Yeah, well, they were. Keep in mind that those Drakes, I believe, were armor tanked based on the presence of the Oneros.
Actually, yeah, they had a lot of damps, probably, huh?
Yeah, they probably were filled with damps in the mids, but those Kitsunes locked them up far too fast.
Right.
The Kitsune, the 2 Drakes and the carries on the opposing team almost certainly were locked up by those Kitsunes, and the only chance they really had was for the dice rolls just not work out and those ECM jams to miss. But if those Drakes had ever been able to lock the 2 Rooks and the 3 Kitsunes, it might have been an entirely different match.
All right. Yeah. So, like, we see a lot of Kitsunes. We see not so many Scorpions. Why are the smaller ships favored for these ECM setups?
There's 2 reasons that you wouldn't see a Scorpion over Kitsune. Scorpion's garbage because it's a battleship, and that's always we always talk about how there's a problem with that because it focuses all your points on one ship. It's easy to manipulate. But the reason Kitsunes are so awesome is the lock time, because they can get in there before anything else and get the jams in, and that's really valuable. They're also hard to kill. They're really fast, and obviously tiny sig, and that.
If you hit them, they're easy to kill, but they're hard to hit. The thing that's good about Rooks is that I believe, unless I'm mistaken, trying to remember my percentages, the Rooks have a stronger jam strength than the Scorpion, and for less points in the tournament. So there really is no reason to go for Scorpions over Rooks.
All right. Maybe we should talk to Ravy.
I think we should.
I think Ravy's in our little library of knowledge. Let's
in my library.
In Kill 2's library of knowledge. Let's give Ravy a call here. Hold on, it's a bit of wiring here. That's how it works with these old phones. If you're a young person and you've never used one of these, this is when I grew up. When I'd walk through the snow 10 miles every day through bear traps, I'd call people with this one and not have one of those cell phones.
They were cutting edge when you got rid of your telegraph, right?
Yeah, it's completely. All right, is Mr. Ravy here?
Coming through loud and clear, Soundwave.
All right, Ravy, where are you at right now?
I'm really not sure. I think I'm in the library. That was a glorious chair behind me.
Yes, that's exactly true. You are in the library, surrounded by stacks of books everywhere. So this is a very, you're picking the books up from the library right now. We do have a few questions for you. Maybe the first pressing question is, the PL setup, what happened in that match? Is there any books that can kind of shed a little bit of light on what happened?
Not sure if there's a book for this one, but I think the main mistake that was made in the PL match was when the Guardian piloted by Gen got in a bit too close. At that point, he was able to get caught, or not the Guardian, sorry, the Basilisk.
Yeah.
And the Guardian for Darkseid had kept proper range and wasn't able to be hit. So once that Basilisk went down, that really swung the match.
Was this a question of the Basilisk warping in at the wrong range, or was it just bad luck?
I think it was a combination of bad luck and the fact that once he got within the newt range of those curses, it was very hard to escape. So he had a very narrow window to be close enough that he could lock, but still far enough away that the curses couldn't newt him.
All right, let's grab another question, just a quick question for you. This is one from the forums. It is from Clicksor. Are we finally going to see flagships today?
Honestly, I don't think we're going to see a lot of them. We may see a few here and there, but most of the best setups from these teams are going to be setups that don't include the flagship. I think it's pretty telling that almost half the teams didn't even submit a flagship this year, and that is part and parcel with the problem with battleships.
All right. Well, Ravi, it was a pleasure talking to you. We will call you back later and maybe get some more answers to stuff we're
I look forward to it.
A little bit unsure about. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the greatest feature of any TV show ever. That's all I'm saying. All right. So now we've talked to Ravi. We should have another. Let me just gather my papers up here. We should have another match coming up in about a minute. It is WeDot versus Paiste Syndicate. You liked WeDot, didn't you, Michael Bolton?
Yeah, I did. I know a lot of guys from WeDot. Unfortunately, there's been a sort of a shakeup in the WeDot alliance.
Yes, I've heard. Could you shed a bit of light on what's happening in the EVE political?
Well, I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. I've heard some rumors, but I'm not really an authority on what's going on. So.
All right. Well, could you inform us a little bit about the rumors?
Test diplomat.
Test diplomat. Could
Making
you,
friends.
I've been out of the loop for 2 weeks now.
No. Well, what is the current rumor? Is Sastro threatening to kill you?
Sastro actually pounded on the wall.
Yeah, there's some
delicate things going on TV.
No, what is the rumor is that Tomcat has released some nude photos to the internet, and it was not an accident. He's actually attempting a career in the adult film industry. So.
You know what? I've heard that that's what you need to do to be really famous. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there may be a CCP Soundwave sex tape floating around somewhere. That's what my agent said I needed to do.
Who might be your co-star?
Well, you'll have to... It might be... Let's go to the match quickly. I need to have a cold shower and curl up and cry. WeDot versus Paiste Syndicate, kill 2.
Paiste.
Oh, that was just decisive. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick with WeDot and their nude photographs.
All right.
Wildly inappropriate, I relate to the name.
All right, welcome. I'll go with Paiste as well. I think they're a wonderful team of young gentlemen.